Republican Senator Tom Cotton of the great state of Arkansas sits on the Judiciary, Armed Services, and Intelligence Committees. Senator, good to see you today. Boy, that is one arm twisting from the president. And then it comes with, whoopsie, didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, Harris, it was pretty remarkable last week. Washington is a place of a lot of bad faith and even double crossing, but I'm not sure I've ever seen someone double cross his negotiating partners in a span of just 2 hours, when Joe Biden had one press conference with those Republican and Democratic senators to celebrate the deal, and then 2 hours later said he wouldn't sign it unless he got a multi-trillion-dollar blowout spending bill. So I guess maybe Joe Biden was just a little confused about what his position was. But look, it's not enough for him to say that he misspoke or he didn't know what he was talking about. He's got to talk to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to make sure they're not doing his dirty work for him, because they can stop this bill just as easily as Joe Biden could by vetoing it, by not sending it to him in the first place. And if they don't make those efforts, then it's going to be clear they're not negotiating in good faith, and their goal all along is just to pass a multi-trillion-dollar spending and taxing blowout.
Senator, two quick questions as follow-ups there. First of all, what was on this goodies list for their priorities among the left?
Well, if you look at what they've proposed and what's going to be in that bill, first off, it's going to be a lot of the Green New Deal. And second, it's going to be a lot of welfare spending. The Democrats want to bring back the old-style welfare before Bill Clinton and congressional Republicans in 1996 reformed it, where they send checks to households without any breadwinner. And much less, not only just people not looking or working, but people not even looking for work or not getting job training or going to school, just checks for every household. I don't think many Americans are going to support that. And that's one reason why the Democrats are struggling to put the votes together for more taxes, the Green New Deal, and old-style welfare.
Yeah, I wondered why AOC would step in so heavily, and now it makes sense. I mean, her initials are on the Green New Deal, along with another senator she co-created it with. Real quickly, my other follow has to do with how ugly is that dim-on-dim crime on the Capitol Hill steps today, because it's got to be all over. I mean, we can see it from here.
I'm sorry, Harris, what was that?
How bad is that dim-on-dim crime? Let me put it to you this way. Democrats are turning on each other, apparently. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez going after moderate Senator Kyrsten Sinema over her opposition to killing the filibuster to push through the Democrats' agenda. Sinema says without it, Republicans will reverse Democratic legislation the moment they get into power. But the Congresswoman says that shouldn't matter. Let's watch, and then I'll get your reaction.
I do not believe in the defeatism of saying we will lose in the future, and this will automatically mean that anything we do now is going to be reversed, so we might as well not do anything now. Our job is to legislate. Our job is to help people. Wouldn't it be better to get people health care and voting rights for 3 years instead of 0 years?
So, Senator, what is your pushback on that? I mean, she doesn't really have the experience yet to see how this is going to perhaps bite them politically moving forward.
Yeah, you know, in politics, as in life, Harris, the shoe can pinch when it's on the other foot, and it usually is on the foot after a while. These progressive Democrats want FDR-LBJ-style agenda, yet they don't have a FDR-LBJ-style majority. In the Senate, they don't have a majority at all. So people who've been around the block, like Joe Manchin or Kyrsten Sinema, know that Republicans will be back in power one day, and we might pass something like a national concealed carry law. We might ban all late-term abortions, or abortions after a child can survive outside the mother's womb. The quickest way to see that is for us to win back the majorities next year, and then see what happens if they try to change the Senate rules in the next year and a half.
All right, I want to get to that. We did show Joe Manchin for a second. You may have seen that because your comments went right along with that video that was rolling along, because they're going after in their own party Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, those senators who are not in lockstep with Joe Biden. He's even called them out. Senator, you're launching an initiative today called Veterans to Victory, starting with 3 House members seeking re-election in 2022. And this is about that push, about taking over the majorities in the Senate and House.
Yeah, Harris, in my time in the Congress, the number of veterans has fallen to historic lows. So, now, some of that is just an artifact of timing as Vietnam War veterans begin to retire, and my generation of veterans is is not quite as old as your typical House or Senate member. But last year I worked to help elect a lot of veterans to the Congress, like Marionette Miller Meeks in Iowa, who won one of the most closely contested House races in American history. And I'm going to expand that program this year. Marionette's going to be a part of my initial batch of endorsements. Mike Gallagher, a great congressman from Green Bay, and Derek Van Orden, who lost a race in Wisconsin, but by just a few points in one of the most conservative seats held by a Democrat. We're going to be endorsing more candidates as the months unfold. A lot of these are going to be picking up seats from Democrats or picking up open seats. I have found from my time in the Congress that veterans bring so many skills, that their courage, their discipline, their mission focus. We're going to have a lot of strong conservatives who are willing to fight to secure our border, to crack down and stop this crime wave, to stand up to the radical Democrats pushing things like critical race theory in our schools. We're going to win back the majority in the House and in the Senate.
Wow, and you know, the military, I always point this out to those watching the Faulkner Focus. Former military make up north of 19% of police forces across the country. So when you talk about that spike in crime, having them in the mix to talk about how we go forward will just broaden out the conversation if they run for office too. Senator Cotton, great to see you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Harris.